everyone, I'm Caitlin.
And I'm Jada.
And today we're going to be reading
Skywoman Legends of the Iroquois by Joanne, Shenandoah, illustrated by John Fadden and Dave Fadden.
So the story we're reading from Skywoman is called The Evergreens. Jada, what do you think The Evergreens will be about?
I think it'll be about trees and their deeper meanings.
While we read, think about how you connect to something and someone in the story.
Great. Are you ready?
Let's go!
Let's go!
Skywoman, Legends of the Iroquois by Joanne, Shenandoah, Douglas M. George.
The Evergreens. When the Creator first walked about the earth, it was a place of tall, rock-strewn mountains, vast, desolate plains, and empty seas. His great task was to make earth a beautiful place by placing living things upon her body. He made the smallest of insects and the largest of animals. He placed birds in the sky and fish in the wide seas. He scattered flowers about to give color to the land, with grasses to brush against the winds. Some plants had roots which reached deep into the ground to grasp the soil firmly, while others grew on river bottoms or within swamps and marshes. Trees of many kinds were also made, some tall and graceful, others short and stout. All trees were cloaked in the most wonderful green. Leaves and needles were made on their branches throughout the 4 seasons, coloring the earth with ongoing life. The Creator told each living thing how they were to exist upon the earth. He warned that if they should break the rules which bound them to their particular ways, great troubles would result. For many generations, harmony existed on earth as each living being found comfort living in the way of its own family. One day, the Creator spoke to the living things. He said he had done his best to spread life on earth and was well pleased with his labors. But, he said, he had to leave earth to travel to the other worlds where he would plant and spread life. He assured the living things he would return. To mark his promise, he asked the trees to watch over earth in his absence. Be careful, he told the trees, not to fall asleep while I am away, because the earth needs to be protected. He instructed the trees to remain ever alert, even during the dark months. They were to use their green leaves to provide shelter for the animals and insects against the wind, rain, snow, and cold. The trees promised they would do their best and would not rest, not even for a moment. Content that the earth was safe, the Creator departed on his distant journeys. He was gone for a very long time, yet the trees remained alert. Season followed season until the years flowed by beyond counting, but they did not waver in their task until one fateful day. A maple tree standing proud among her kin watched as winter approached. She noticed that many animals were storing away food in secret places so they would have nourishment when earth was covered by deep snow. Others grew thick fur and searched for caves and deep crevices where they would sleep during the coldest moons. Maple wondered at this strange thing called sleep. The animals would curl in a tight ball, close their eyes, and begin to breathe very slowly. They did not awaken to eat or play or dance, but seemed to enter a magical place somewhere deep in their minds. Maple wanted to join them there, for she missed their chatter as they scampered among her branches or ran around her trunk. She grew lonesome during the long, moonless nights, waiting for the return of the Creator. She found his words difficult to recall. It had been so long since she heard his soothing voice or was warmed by his touch as he caressed her rough bark. Perhaps, she thought, it might be possible to be with the Creator by turning away from the outside world and sleeping. Maple discovered it was a simple thing to do once she tried. She turned her leaves, of which she was very proud, inward while slowing her flow of sap and curling her roots into earth.
Soon she became very quiet, barely rustling her leaves or moving her branches. Other trees, particularly the broadleaves, found Maple's sleep most curious. No matter how hard they tried, they could not awaken her from this thing called sleep. Throughout the long winter, when the other trees shivered in the bitter cold, Maple seemed content at peace during her slumber. Finally, after many months, Earth began to turn once again to the elder brother, the sun. His bright daytime light heated ground, air, and water, and awakened the animals who emerged from their burrows much thinner than in the fall and very hungry. Her branches sprouted more leaves as she grew taller with the lengthening of days. The other trees with broad leaves were amazed at the change in Maple and vowed to try to sleep when the cold moons returned. They were so excited by this new thing they forgot their promise to the Creator, all except the slender trees with the needle-thin leaves. They refused to be tempted by the sleep, even if it meant their branches would break under heavy snow and their tops would be bent by icy winds. Winter would not come fast enough for the broad leaves. They followed Maple's example, turned their leaves, slowed the flow of sap, and turned their thoughts inward. As the years passed, many other trees joined them until it seemed only the thin-needled ones were left to watch earth atop lonely mountains, across rocky hills and on the thin soils where they alone grew. Finally, the Creator returned to earth from his visits to the other worlds. He saw what had happened to his trees to whom had entrusted earth. He was most saddened by the failure of Maple and her friends to fulfill their duties, even as he was very proud of thin-needled trees. The Creator then made a decision from that day onwards those trees who went into sleep would lose their precious leaves during winter. They would not be able to enjoy the clear, star-filled nights, nor would they sing with the winds. They would have to grow new leaves every spring and wait many weeks before becoming fully dressed. Those trees who stayed awake would from then on always be cloaked in green. They would bring eternal joy to earth with their beauty and special songs. They would be called Evergreens. By all living things, a name of great honor, since green is the color of life. And so it is to this day. The Evergreens remind us to be patient and always live by our promises. They continue to watch over the land, a task of the Iroquois people have honored by selecting the eastern white pine as their symbol. Beneath the branches of this great tree of peace, all the peoples of the Long House would one day come together to change their way of life and put an end to war. The end.
Welcome back, readers. Remember when we asked you guys to think about something or someone to connect to while you read?
How did you connect to the story? Turn and talk to a partner in school or a friend, adult, or sibling at home.
How did you connect to the story?
I connected because the trees learned consequences of their actions like I did in school. When you would have bad behavior, things would get taken away from you.
I totally agree.
Thanks for reading with us today, everyone.
I had a lot of fun. I hope we can do this once more.
Bye!